Guys, today on the Stoney Ridge Farm, we're gonna take lumber that we milled right off of the ground from logs to plant beds. Awesome. Hey there folks, this is Josh, Stoney Ridge Farmer. Welcome back to another beautiful day on the farm. There's snow on the ground still, but it's almost 50 degrees. It's short sleeve weather again here on the Stoney Ridge. We're gonna be running the Wood-Mizer LT40 today, and what today's goal is to take this pile of awesome white oak. This was a dead standing tree. I'll post a little footage of this thing hitting the ground. So this was a dead standing tree on the farm. And what we're gonna be doing is taking this log and making plant beds just like these. So these are 4x8 plant beds, okay? These are my raised beds that I did my garden in last year, and it was super successful. I had enough tomatoes to can nearly 100 cans of tomatoes, tomato juice, and tomato sauce. Awesome stuff. So we're gonna add 5 to 6 more of these, and there's actually gonna be a future greenhouse right here so we can start our plants a little bit early and do a little bit more gardening on the channel. Cool? So let's get busy. We're gonna fire up the Wood-Mizer, roll these logs up, and just start cutting, man. Have some fun. You'll see me milling up 4x4 material, and you'll see me milling up 2x12 material. All right, folks, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here or your 50 millionth time, please pound that like button. Consider jumping in, subscribing to the channel. This is a good place you can come and not worry about people cussing and being stupid and hurting themselves, hopefully. And we get to see a lot of cool equipment here on the Stoney Ridge Farm. This is a first-generation farm here in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina. And I'm Josh, I'm the Stoney Ridge Farmer, and we'll be building the farm here. So what we've got going on here, this is a Wood-Mizer LT40 extra wide. In other words, it'll take up to a 36-inch log. That's a big old log for sure. You can make dimensional lumber, meaning 2x4s, 2x12s. You can make live edge lumber. You can make siding. You can make anything out of wood with this machine. It's really cool. And I'm not really cutting a lot of trees here on the farm that aren't already dead. So we've got a lot of forest, a lot of forested area here on the farm, and all these trees would be going to waste. In other words, that would be sitting on the forest floor rotting, and today we're gonna make it into something usable. There are a few different things that we have to do here with the LT40. We have to keep an eye on this little meter right here. That's the blade tension, okay? We also have to keep an eye on this water tank. That water tank provides lubrication for the sawmill blade as it goes through. This is our hydraulic setup. The hydraulics are what turns the log and what lifts the log up onto the log deck. Really cool. This is my little control panel, and you'll see me walking back and forth. And this is the discharge chute for the shavings or sawdust. Lots of questions about the sawdust and shavings. Oh man, they're going to waste, da-da-da-da-da. They aren't going to waste, okay? So I'll come with a drag harrow and I'll drag out all of these shavings. They are not going to waste. However, the amount of shavings that a sawmill like this, a band sawmill like this, puts out are way less than a rotary blade type cutter. So in other words, there's not a significant amount of shavings. This big old pile of wood right here will only generate about an 8-inch deep little pile of shavings right here. So we can use it in the chicken coops, we can use it around the garden, but there's not a significant amount of shavings. This is the rail that this machine rides on, and it's driven hydraulically, so I just walk effortlessly and push it right through the log. Cool, let's fire it up, get busy. Safety glasses, hearing protection. This thing is really loud. This is a log ox, 3-in-1 forestry multi-tool. It's what I use to roll the logs up on the log deck. something's gonna break for sure. And what happened was the blade on this thing kind of gives you no warning when it starts getting a little bit dull. It just gets dull quick and then it pops. This white oak is really, really hard. So we didn't break the blade, but it came off of the reel. I noticed my pressure on my little gauge kind of wobbling a little bit, just kind of going up and down. So what I had to do, I had to take the log ox and I had to wedge it in right here. So I had to stick the cant hook part right in there and raise that up just ever so slightly so that I could back the mill back out of here. We only had like 3 more cuts to go, but now we got to add a blade change. Blade change is pretty simple. Just pop off a couple covers right here, bam, bam, pull the blade off, put a new blade on, tighten it back up. I'm getting pretty good at it. It takes about 2 minutes. that easy. It just took me literally, like I said, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes tops. Slipping the last cover on right here. Can be a little bit difficult your first few times, but not too bad after you've done it about 50 times. Got to work on finding just the right blade for running dry white oak. Been talking to my buddy Nathan from Out of the Woods. He's got a great sawmill channel. In case you guys don't know, check him out. Great sawmill, great wealth of knowledge. That guy's got some serious knowledge on sawmills. So we're ready to fire back up and get kicking again. This should, man, it shouldn't take me long, but it did cut down in and make the board a little bit wider. So we're gonna have to doll this one up just a little bit. All we need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 2x12s. That's all we need. So we should be able to get all of it right out of this one board if I didn't mess it up, all that out of one log. And that's called a cant right there. That is a squared off log. Squared off log is called a cant. Cool, let's get busy. Oh, it's almost a shame to use these boards as garden beds, but they'll hold up and last for a very long time. This is some of the most gorgeous white oak lumber that I have ever laid eyes on. It is absolutely gorgeous. Let me get you guys a good shot of it. So typically you'd have to wet this down to bring out the grain. Look at that. That is so gorgeous. Man, it seems, it does seem like a waste. But what we've got here also, this is why our blade popped. So we had some areas that had knots, and you can see the knots even bigger right here. Those are hard, very, very hard. So they will cause a lot of extra stress on your blade, and that's why our blade popped. But look at how gorgeous that is. Awesome. Let's get the last board off and we'll go build our plant boxes. We've got everything we need. These are the boards for the walls of the plant box, and these are for the corners. Each one of these boards weighs somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 pounds. So for consistency here, I want to build them all the same. I want to build each box exactly the same as the other box. There's 2 feet in between each one of these boxes right here. So we want to put 2 feet in between each one of the new boxes, and we'll have, again, a row of 10. The greenhouse is going to go right there. So this will be the garden, and the greenhouse area is going to be right here. So we're just going to build one box today. I may get over there after we get done and mill up some more lumber. It's so fun to take a log and make it into something just absolutely beautiful. We'll go ahead and we'll measure these up and see what size they are before we get started. And that way we know how much we're gonna have to cut off. I don't wanna waste any more of this beautiful white oak than I have to, and it's actually 9 feet. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a 9-foot by 4-foot plant bed. I'm not gonna waste any more of this lumber than I have to, so that's a 9-footer, will be a 9-foot plant bed. So this is the math and science portion of the video today. We're gonna slide this board up. I know that this end is the rougher end, and this is rough cut, okay? So this is supposed to be rustic. It's not supposed to be furniture, all right? But we still wanna be proud of what we accomplish at the end of the day. So each board has its own set of problems, okay? So this board right here has a little bit of rot right here and a tiny bit of rot right there. So we don't want to put that rot on the ground. We want to put that up, okay? So this will be one of our top boards. Just something I need to remember as I work my way through this. This is a speed square, and what we're gonna do, measure off. First, we'll check square on the end here, and I can see that it's not square at all. See what I mean? So that's square on the end. We'll go down here to the other end and check square down here. And it's almost totally square, but I believe we're gonna cut a little bit off of both ends. So what I'll do is I'll trim this one. Let's measure it first. Okay, we're gonna do it to the 9-foot mark. So the 9-foot mark puts me about right in there with my square. Puts me at about 9 foot 1.5 inches, and then we'll just trim off another piece on the other end to even this out. So we'll do that. So we want to remember our measurement, 9 foot 1.5. Okay, get right here, make a mark. Use a pencil, ballpoint pen won't work, okay? Make that mark. And we're gonna take our handy dandy steel. This is the MSA 140C. It's a consumer grade chainsaw, but it makes this job so much easier just doing it like this. There we go. Again, we're not building furniture, but we've created a nice straight edge right there. We'll go down the other end, and we'll do the same thing. We're gonna do the same thing with every single board here, so might as well slide this one down, pull this one out, and give it a little mark. Get this job done. Now, come on down here to the other end. We're gonna repeat this process over and over again for all the boards. Again, it takes 6 boards. So 2 boards on this side, 2 boards on that side, 1 board on the end, 1 board on the end. Okay, so we'll cut the board on the end in half, and that'll make 4 feet. Guys, got a timeout. Got a raptor visit. House sitter's here. So a lot of you might be wondering, well, Josh, what the heck are the 4x4s for? And these are true 4x4s. What we're gonna do is put these in the corners. What I learned from building the last planter boxes was that screwing them together on the ends was not okay. It wasn't enough. So I needed some support in the corners. Now the boxes are gonna be 24 inches deep. They're gonna be 4 feet wide and typically 8 feet, but this is gonna be a 9-foot box. So what we wanna do is cut this down to about the 20-inch mark. I'm gonna take a measurement here and see how many pieces I can get out of this. So, yeah, I'm probably gonna cut it. It's about 69 inches, which is close to 6 foot, but not quite 6 foot. So what I'm gonna do is actually cut these just a little bit short. I'm gonna cut them 2 inches short of 2 feet, and that way I have a little bit of space at the bottom, and we'll put those in. Pretty simple. This doesn't have to be perfect. Again, this will be under dirt, so it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter at all. It's just a matter of personal preference and doing a nice, neat job. That's heavy. So if you don't have a sawmill, you can easily do this with 2x12s, okay? So just go buy 2x12s. Make sure that they are suitable for ground contact. So that's the main thing. Most of your 4x4s that you get in the store are gonna be, or treated 4x4s are gonna be suitable for ground contact. If you don't wanna worry, or if you're concerned about the treatment, you can always line these with a little bit of plastic sheeting, but we're not gonna do that. You could always even take bed liner. Now, will I fill these with dirt? Absolutely. Will I fill them with dirt right away? No, I want this lumber to dry out just a little bit. So I'm gonna leave them for a couple weeks, leave it out dry, and then I'll put the dirt in. Cool? 22 inches. Perfect. Moving on to the assembly portion of this, all we're gonna do is set up our boards on the end, just like so. And then we're gonna set our corner pieces in place, just like so. And then we're gonna put our end boards on. Now the screws that I'm using, and these work great, these are framing screws. They have a bit of a cutting edge on the tip, and that helps to get them through this really hard oak. And we also have a nice Torx on the end right there. So that's it. And those are, what size? 4-inch, big boys. Now I'll repeat this process on all 4 corners, and we'll see you guys when we get done building the box, the finished product. All right, that's it. She's all together. I will have to move this box again. It's a little bit bigger than that box over there. It's 9 foot, but there was no use in wasting the lumber. That turned out absolutely gorgeous. That's a true 2-inch by 12-inch, so it's 24 inches high. That will raise enough tomatoes for me and my family for the year, for 2022. Awesome. So guys, come on back and see me. I'd love to see you again here on the Stoney Ridge. That's how you take a log and you make something out of it. That's why every farm needs a sawmill. Awesome. Stick around, come back. We'll show you putting up the greenhouse as soon as possible, as soon as I can get all the materials here. Guys, thanks a lot for joining me on the Stoney Ridge Farm. Please pound that like button, jump in, subscribe to the channel. Hope you learned a little bit. You can do this without custom sawn lumber. You can just go to Lowe's or Home Depot and get the lumber that you need and build a box just like this. Awesome. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Woo! Come on down to the Stoney Ridge. Bring your wife and bring your kids. We're living life pure and sweet. That's the way it's supposed to be, Stoney Ridge. Woo! All right. Needs a second chance. Raptor. You got right off the sometimes goodbye so hard. See y'all next time.